Hello and welcome again to the basics of the Photoshop. Now we had this great image. We had taken this photo, but it's missing one of the ingredients that makes our photos live, which is the shadow. So how to add a professional shadow and to place it perfectly on an image like this one. The first step is to isolate the main objects that you'd like to add a shadow for. So we'll use the object selection tool. We'll use it for this great animal. Here it will do a nice job. The algorithm will be running and it will do a nice job of selecting the focus object. Okay, after that we make Ctrl J to separate it on a separate layer, and while on this separate layer we'll go to the effects. We'll add a drop shadow. We'll keep the default settings, and then we go on the shadow, right click on the shadow and create a layer. We will okay, that will be permanent. Okay, now we have a separate layer for the shadow, which is this layer completely. We can drag it on top of the other layer. Okay, then we can simply move it as we like. After moving it, we are going to flip it. So transform and flip vertical. Then we drag it a little bit down to here, for example. Okay, we can decrease it. So you're having a proportional for the shadow itself. Okay, after that we are going to use the eraser, okay, to remove the extra areas of the shadow that it seems non-logic to us. Okay, and now you have a perfect shadow for an animal, or you make your image more live by adding shadows. Simply you separate the main focus and then you add a shadow to it. You separate the shadow and you erase it. Maybe we like to make it on a cartoon picture, like another one, like with this cat image. We are going to reflect it on the wall. We are going to see a little bit more of this experience because we are going to separate the shadow of the cat on the two walls that are perpendicular to each other. So we are going to use the perspective warp tab. We are going to see how to make this. We'll be on the cat layer. Now, as usual, we will make a shadow, drop shadow. Okay, and then we separate the shadow, create a layer. Okay, now we can see that we can easily remove the shadow layer. We can turn it, move it, maybe extend it a little bit, or whatever. You can do whatever you like. As we have done before, you can use the brush to remove the areas of the shadows that you think is not coming in position. Okay, after that we need to separate this shadow into two parts. So Ctrl G to make two layers of the shadow. Then I'm going to edit the perspective warp. Okay, I'll make my perspective warp parallel to the wall, so I can move the part of the image on the wall. Then I drag it. Just you need to make sure that you keep the sizing of the two images to be matching to each other. Okay, and then enter. Now you have two images, while on the top image I need to delete its lower part, so I'm going to use the selection tool, parallel to the wall. Okay, and then I delete it. Then I need, while on the lower image, Ctrl D, I repeat the work again. Just make sure that you cover the overlaps. Okay, delete. Now you have a perfect reflection on two layers. If you get, like I've done, a small difference like this with the wall, just drag it a little bit down, Ctrl D, and you have a perfect reflection on two dimensions or on two perpendicular layers of the image of the cat. Join the channel, subscribe, spread the information, wait for the coming videos, interesting information from the beginners in the Photoshop but proficient.